So I was deep in the tank yesterday. Deep in the tank, and I was kind of looking at a few different Ketramose builds, and I was scrolling through every legal Eldrazi yet again, and I stumbled again across Inverter of Truth, and I'm like, you know what? This has been a while since we've worked on this combo. And I was a little bit interested in Inverter of Truth too, because like playing a big flying blocker is kind of nice in the prowess metagame. It's just very likely to buy you the turn you need to set up for Thassa's Oracle. And I was reflecting on the fact that like to play Inverter, of course, you need to have a lot of control over your own graveyard, exiling your own graveyard. And I realized it's just kind of a perfect shell to do that. The like Esper, especially the Esper Ketramose build. Of course, you need to play blue for Thassa's Oracle. And you get to play Psychic Frog, and you can play Relic and Frog to not only enable your Oracle combo, but also to enable your Ketramose. And I don't know how much this needs saying, but when your 2-card combo deck also has a ton of removal and a ton of card draw, that's a pretty interesting formula. I'm really usually excited when I get to play Ketramose in a combo deck, because this is just such a difficult threat to beat when you're also threatening to just win the game with 2 cards. This dynamic of Inverter also helps. I want to say the big mana matchups. I did play against Titan last night, and I 2-0'd them, largely thanks to me drawing double Prismatic Ending for the amulets that they just didn't play around Prismatic Ending with. But in theory, the Inverter Oracle is also going to help a lot against Eldrazi, which I did not play against last night, but that's kind of always been Ketramose's big problem matchup. Eldrazi's not a very fast deck, but it is a deck that has a lot of inevitability against Ketramose, but playing these 2 cards really flips that inevitability back in your favor, is a big part of the thought process. And then against decks like Dimir and Boros and Prowess, you could just board out of the combo 2 and pivot into a more normal Ketramose deck, which is typically pretty good against those kind of strategies too. So I don't know. For me, this is really exciting, where this is a combo that 1 solves a lot of problems for the archetype, and 2 fits very well with the existing game plan. So I'm down to jump in. Well, I've seen the newest evolution in the Neo brand deck. Well, are you talking about the version of Neo form that just tries to put a big thing into play and win with it? Because it's obviously pretty similar, but I don't even know if I necessarily consider those 2 decks to be the same archetype anymore even. Alright, we're going to keep that. The combo should make us really good in the mirror too. How did the Ballad Crystal Stalk Gold deck do? We 3-2'd our first league, and then I think we 1-2'd our second, and I ended the stream. I think it was solid. I think the Ballad and Skull also both looked really good, which I think is, usually, in my opinion, at least, what I want to be looking for. Okay, love to see no Phelia. If you 3-2 every league forever, would that be a good win rate or a bad one? A 60% win rate would be insanely good. We got one-shot combo with Ghalta and Xenagos. Ghalta put Xenagos in play is pretty cool. I played against actually that deck with this deck yesterday, and I didn't really understand why Xenagos was in there, but that does make sense. Well, I'm going to play Ketramose here. Hey Logan, welcome, welcome. Do you draw a card if Phelia exiles Ketramose? Yes, you do. Or if your opponent Solitudes your Ketramose on your turn, you also draw a card. 4 mana. Usually this is just Witch Enchanter game 1, but that's obviously not what they're casting. March, okay. Whenever my opponent starts to cast March, I'm always completely blind to it. There's no way for me to know that that's the card they're casting. I just never expect that. Could have been good to play the Relic first to make sure I get to draw a bunch of cards. A hardcast Solitude maybe this turn. Okay, I've got a Relic in play. I don't think I need to exile my yard right now. Although if I do top deck Oracle, I kind of do. Let's just pop this. So it's good that we have Ephemerate insurance here. If they have an Ephemerate for the Solitude, we can beat that. Attack is weird. Maybe they have a second Solitude. Maybe they have like a Ketramose. 2 cards in their hand. Not a bad draw. So if they have another hardcast Solitude, we can go Solitude Ephemerate. So do I want to Solitude Ephemerate now, or do I want to try to get greedy and maybe get a third creature? I think let's not get too greedy. Let me know what you would do here. This is also like way worse against them having like a third Solitude. It's way worse against them. Or sorry, this is way better against them having third Solitude. And it's way better against Ephemerate. So I think that's gonna make me take this line. So they impending the Overlord here because my rebound could get it. That's pretty interesting. They find another Solitude, which is also interesting. I feel like they probably should have just waited a turn to hardcast this, but maybe I'm off about that. This is also a bit weird, but I think I'm going to target the Solitude with the Ephemerate with my Solitude, so I can just if I top deck Oracle, I can win the game. I need a card in my yard to do that, which I think is worth the Lightning Helix. Let's fucking go. No Thoughtseize, please. Will they see the line? They don't see the line. If my opponent had exiled my Inverter, I lose. Is there anything like right now? Oh, yeah, the Overlord can get back Phantom, which would kill me too, but that comes back on the end step, so we don't need to worry about that. Right now, they have a Solitude in their hand too. So, I don't know. I feel like we should be good. So we could block with Solitude if the Accelerator... We just lose. The Inverter kills me next turn. We could block with Solitude, but, like, that's not why we lose. Wouldn't you have not lost? No, the Inverter makes me have a 0-card library and I die before I can cast Oracle. That's the problem with them exiling the Inverter. Okay, we're up a game against normal black-white. Could be not playing Ketramose. I think that's been kind of the common trend lately. Oh, the Solitude enters my graveyard when I block. That's why I love you guys. We're getting better together. So I want some number of consigns. I think I want to go like down an Oracle, down an Inverter, plus 2 consigns. Could play 3. We might be able to cut a Relic. Speaking of stuff like Flickerwisp returns, Phelia returns, Solitude ETBs, all pretty nice. They had Solitude, so they had to win. That's true, yeah. I like trimming one piece each of the combo, because like these games are just going to go really long, and you don't want to get too run over early, and if they're going to go really long anyways, then you'll like eventually assemble the combo. I do think it's possible that you don't want to play like 4-3. You want to go like 3-2, especially with like Overlord and stuff, but I think we just need a lot more reps to really say for sure one way or the other here. So they have the Phelia this time. So to me, I think the safest line is to consign the Phelia return trigger. And then just surveil. Get black-white. Could get blue-black and then be able to cast an Oracle. I don't think we need the double white right now. We do find a land. Okay, another Ketramose is less than ideal. Also don't like not finding another land. Hopefully we can find a Solitude here. We don't find a Solitude. We do find a Trawler, which I'm going to take and pending a second Overlord, which maybe can find us the Solitude. Can maybe find us Inverter too. Instead of finds us a Ketramose, which I'll take. Okay, while my opponent takes their turn, I'm going to go use the restroom real quick. Okay, so I'm at 10 live. They played a Flickerwisp and they flickered the Witch enchant. Wait, why is my Relic in? Oh, they killed an Overlord. Okay. Played Wisp, they flickered the Enchanter, they killed the Overlord. Okay. Can work with this. I'm just going to go ahead and pop this Relic now. Nice. White card? Not a white card, but a pretty good card. So I think I'm going to save the Solitude for their turn, because right now if I Solitude the Ketramose and then they can get rid of my Ketramose with like a Prismatic Ending or a Flickerwisp, then I go to 5 and I die. But I should be like relatively safe like this. Doing it on my opponent's turn. Yeah, so let me Solitude. Like, they can't consign this. Yeah, I'm not really sure what they can have that stops me here. I guess one thing here is, now I have this Solitude in the graveyard. So if my opponent has a Solitude, then I don't win going Inverter into Oracle this turn. Would my opponent, if they had a Solitude, would they ever just not Solitude this, though? I can't block because this has Menace. All right, well. I don't think they have it. Hand needs a little help. I'm going to lead on Trawler to not like auto lose to a Thoughtseize, I guess. Definitely don't like having a tumbly hand like this against Prowess. It's a good draw, especially if we can find a Solitude. You can get Solitude Ephemerate going. Alright. There's also an Oracle in the yard. I think I gotta take the Solitude, though. So if they play another creature, we can go Solitude Ephemerate. And if they just keep this, we can maybe go Ketramose Solitude. They plot a show off, so we'll plot a Solitude, I guess. So I guess the Oracle being in the yard for the Inverter is kind of interesting too. I'm deep in the tank on my paper vintage cube. Discovered this colorless Doomsday from Unstable to combo with Oracle. Shuffle your library and deal it to 4 libraries. If anything refers to your library, choose one of your libraries for it. Ugh. I hate the templating on that. Oh, I guess we have a problem, actually. I milled my fountain. And I drew my Godless Shrine. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. Split screen is a very fun card to play with. Maybe. Alright, so if I Solitude here... Yeah, I can just go Solitude like this. And then I can get rid of the show off. Then I can get a blue-white Surveillam. And then I can cast... I could cast Oracle. Or sorry, I could cast Inverter of Truth. And then my Ketramose would be online. And I think maybe that would be just enough to like stabilize until I can draw the Oracle and cast it. Let's see what happens with the Surveil. A basic plains. So if I keep this basic plains, this allows me to hardcast the Solitude when I draw it. I think I'm in. I'm not 100. Also, I guess I take less damage too, which is nice, but I'm in. Let's try it. So my deck is 3 lands, Solitude, Oracle. Also, in 3 turns, my Overlord will win the game because I'll be able to attack, find the Oracle, no cards in library. My Inverter should be able to block the plotted show-off pretty well, I assume. They cast another show-off, though, so 3 show-offs is pretty good, as my friend Larry David might say. Pretty good. I'm assuming this is lethal. This is, yeah, pretty lethal. Dang. We're doing very good against not the 3rd show-off. Alright, I'm going to cut the combo with this matchup. I was really excited about that line, too. I was feeling pretty good. There is a colorless artifact that lets you exile your deck legal and modern. Yeah, I've been messing around a little bit with like creativity, leveler, Oracle. I know people are really like they want a creativity deck to be legal, so I've been kind of messing around with like building it differently, but I haven't really found anything good. Can Strategic Betrayal draw 2 with Ketramose? I believe it only draws 1, but it's a good enabler for Ketramose. We were playing that deck this week, actually. I think if you pitch Ketra for Solitude and Ephemerate the Solitude would have survived. Well, what you missed was that when I played the Delta, I didn't realize that me drawing the Godless Shrine meant I didn't have any fetchable white sources. Which was definitely a mistake, but it's just kind of like I milled the fountain and I drew the Godless Shrine, so I just didn't recognize I had no fetchable white sources off the Delta. Oh, I have 2 shrines. Okay, sorry. Well, I guess this is also maybe a symptom of building 2 decks a day every day. We should have done that then. That might have been a winning line. Have you tried Blood Ripper cascading into Resurgent Belief in a Woodlands Omni deck before? I've tried Glimpse. I haven't tried Resurgent Belief. One thing that's a bit awkward is like both of your plans there are like reliant on the graveyard, but could be okay. Interesting they didn't attack with the Monk token. Like, I can't block with Ketramose, but I could block with Ketramose because of the Solitude. I feel like it's a hard thing for them to play around, but they did here, I guess. Sorry, I guess maybe we could have gone for lethal. Oh. Godless Shrine blindness again. Should be okay. Famous last words. Bolts me. So they are missing a type for Delirium. The main way we lose, I think, is to Violent Urge. Yeah. Scary for a second there. Maybe we should have some Orim's Chants in. On the draw? Like Phelia kind of sucks on the draw. I don't know. Let's try it. I think we've got so much card advantage that like the card disadvantage, but like time buying on the draw might just be worth it. Well, I guess I'm gonna chant them. Oh, you can't plot. No, can wait? They can plot. Ah! No. Wait, why can they plot? Is this not like suspend, where if you could cast the spell? I guess not. Oh no. Well, we tried the Orim's Chant plan, gamers. We tried it. Obviously they can. Well, yeah, I know. I'm just trying to understand. All right, so we draw Trespasser into Wrath of Skies. Maybe draw Wisp. Wisp would be pretty good. Yeah, you can't suspend when you are silenced. Although I'll tell you what, if this was a Relic of Progenitus or a Phelia, I don't know how much how much it would have done this game. Don't know how much it would have done. So my camera keeps sliding. I want to kill the creatures so I can have something to exile the Trespasser in the best case scenario where they have no more spells. And the good news is that is the timeline we find ourselves in, the timeline where they have no more spells. The bad news is I don't even know if I can beat that. I'm going to exile my graveyard this turn. And then if I attack with the Trespasser, I get to... Like, it's kind of the same as, like, leaving it back to block a 1-power creature, assuming they have no spells, which is... the only thing I can beat is no spells. So, let's play around that, I guess. Oh, no, I guess I'm dead anyways. Or, sorry, no, I could have blocked here, gone to 2, but now I block here, take 4 exactly. Okay, so sorry about that. Looks like they had a spell anyways. Okay, we'll keep this combo plus hopefully Solitude Ephemerate. Well, let's Surveil turn 1. That gives me Solitude Ephemerate, but this could still be prowess. They do play a Thundering Falls. Let's keep this. We got the Relic to like redraw to dig for lands too. It's weird to me there are so few Imri, Tamiyo Cutter decks out there. Well, we've worked on a few of them. Jeskai Ascendancy is like definitely a good deck that maybe deserves to see more play than it does. There's a few other shells too, but like I think it's just kind of like Jeskai Ascendancy is like the default one, you know. I want to try like a Wizards Steel Cutter build though. Like, that's playing the Moxen. Think Cutter will get to a point it requires a ban? No. I think that's very unlikely. I'm going to wait on popping the Relic. Okay, cool. Have we tried Illness in the Ranks December card? Helps me in this matchup. Okay, this is interesting because the more and more I talk to people about playing its prowess, the more they're like, I'm bringing in Ancient Grudge. I'm bringing in Illness in the Ranks. I'm bringing in Artifact Hate against prowess. And I feel like, in my opinion, that just kind of plays into their plan, doesn't it? Like if I'm the prowess gamer and my opponent is bringing in cards that, like Illness in the Ranks, they still have a prowess creature attached to the Steel Cutter. It just kills extra tokens. It's like if my opponents are bringing in shatter effects for my I think I will Solitude because I really want to just find the land and cast the Inverter. So I want to pop the Relic. I don't want to pop the Relic after. So it's like it's only good against 4 cards in their deck, and it doesn't even completely shut it off. Like they still have it still leaves them with a prowess creature. You know what I mean? No, it dies before the attachment. I believe that you're wrong about that. I believe that the attachment is all part of one big state-based effect. So if I pop this now, I have 1 card in my yard, and then a fetch land could be a little bit weird to play around bolts, but this is better if I draw a non-fetch land blue source, and fine if I draw a fetch land too. Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe this is something you're doing at F&M, but online it doesn't work this way. Oh wait, so sorry, I don't need to worry about Lightning Bolt if I draw the Ephemerate next turn. I guess I could worry about 2 bolts. Don't need to be too worried about dying, though. I feel like Fair, Blue-Red, Imri, Tamiyo Cutter, Rag, Blast, Thoughtcast, Rebuke is a direction I'd want to try. I guess people have tried it. We have tried that. I want to try a more Wizards-focused version. Because I do think Flame is a pretty nice tool at the moment. Cool Pioneer deck. Inverter is banned in Pioneer. How about that? Yeah, so I didn't draw the Ephemerate. So if I had drawn the Ephemerate, I could have gone for it. Instead, we'll just put a Delta in the yard. We'll play a second Inverter to play around double Slickshot Show-Off. And probably be fine. Winning a lot of games with the combo today. Always like showing them the combo too when we're about to board out of it. We have not really been winning sideboard games. But I like crushed the matchup last night. I was feeling so good about it. Obviously, Prowess is just so powerful. Some of their best draws are just going to be very tough to beat. Yeah, well, Frog is a very good tool, of course. We're going to keep this ham. So I was thinking that I wanted to get a Godless Shrine here to play to top deck Wrath of Skies, but then I'm going to need to spend 4 mana on it anyways, and now that I've drawn Ketramose, it seems like maintaining a high life total is a bit more important. I'm not saying play Tarmogoyf / Jund, but I'm thinking about archetypes. I'd imagine grindy removal and efficient fatties would work in a prowess meta. Am I thinking about that wrong? Well, like one thing is it's like normal Jund can't beat Steel Cutter. Like this is one problem I think like the mono black rock deck has. A deck we've had a lot of success against like Boros and Index like Prowess in the past. That deck has a really big problem that you just kind of can't beat Steel Cutter. So trying to adapt to that, like you can do a few things. Like play like the splash for Ketramose and like the splash for Prismatic Ending is like that's kind of like why I was doing that in the build we played on Monday and last week or the week before. Okay, so I need to discard the Frog to trade here, and then there are 5 cards in exile. It's kind of an inconvenient number because I can only get 1 more next turn with the Relic. I mean, I don't really have another play, right? Yeah. So I'm down to 8. There are 5 cards in exile. Seems like I just need to pop the Relic. What about Jund Steel Cutters? I mean, like, why are we green, though? It's like... Okay, I guess I should have played my land first. Why are we green? Like, is it for Tarmogoyf? It's not going to be correct to be Jund, you know? Like, Tarmogoyf just... There's like, if you're playing Steel Cutter, you're playing Nethergoyf, you're playing Channeler. Like, how do we possibly land on any of these green cards? Do you think green is due for a 2020 version of Tarmogoyf? Well, you got Nethergoyf, which is... power creep Tarmogoyf in a better color than Tarmogoyf because you're always base black in those decks anyways. Alright, game 3 on the play. Rumble for your Steel Cutter. Yeah, I mean, sorry, I forgot that I was thinking, we were talking about Jund Delirium yesterday, which is a deck we've played some of, and I forgot that just playing Steel Cutter, that was something I was thinking about. Well, I think the deck's just worse than the Hollow One build, which we also already played Steel Cutter in. Isn't Pulse an old school answer to Steel Cutter tokens? It's not a good one. Like, it's 3 mana compared to a 2-drop. You can kill the Steel Cutter, and if they have a token, you 2-for-1 yourself at a lower mana cost. And if you target the tokens, they still have the Steel Cutter in play. So, you know, there's not a ton of great answers to Steel Cutter, but like stuff like Celestial Purge, Prismatic Ending, Deafening Spell Snare, High Noon, Wrath the Skies, Temporary Lockdown. These are the answers that are good against it. It's like 3 mana sorcery speed answers are miserable. Yeah, Decay. Decay's pretty good. I have a couple Decays in backup deck sideboard, actually. Snapkeeping, Solitude, Ephemerate, Phelia, Overlord. Let's go on the play for this game. Decay is pretty good right now. I ain't spending 2 mana removal. Are you crazy? I know. I've been killing like Flip to Johnny, killing Bombardment, killing Static Prison, killing Amulet, killing Ruby Medallion, killing Artist Talent. All of that sounds pretty good to me. I guess I get Watery Grave and then fetch basic planes off the Strand. Is K command too slow? Is Kozilek's command too slow? No. Is Kolagon's command too slow? Yeah, probably. Although I don't know, I would love for that card to be good, so maybe one day. But I'm sorry to break. Y'all gotta type out Kolagon's command for me to know what you're talking about in 2025. I hate that that's the world we live in, but I'm not gonna know what you're talking about. So I need to save this Solitude for the show off. I don't have a third white source to go ending here, Deafening Silence. Just kind of banking on hitting a white card off of one of my 2 Overlord triggers. Okay, I did. Use silence at the pitch card. No, silence just means like I can't lose this game. So I feel like I gotta keep it. Like it's literally like 1 mana. This game is not losable. So you know what I mean. Interesting they didn't cast the show off here. They know about the Solitude, so I guess that makes sense. So they have to cast a creature spell to trigger the Steel Cutter. There's a creature spell. And now I can pretty comfortably Solitude Ephemerate, pick up another Solitude on my next turn here. Wait, Deafening Silence only counts non-creature spells. I guess I'm just going to say no. And I'm going to exile the token when I attack and get a big hit in here. Well, we beat Prowess. I stomped them last night in my testing. I'm like, great, we've got a great Prowess matchup. Then we lost to them 2 or 3 times before this today, at least once this league. When do you pack Deafening Silence versus Orim's Chant? Typically, I would recommend a split. Deafening Silence in general, like, it gives giving your opponent that complete info on like what to play around. It's got some diminishing returns, so I tend to I would play like the first Deafening Silence before the third Orim's Chant, and then the third Orim's Chant before the second Deafening Silence, and then the second Deafening Silence before the fourth Orim's Chant is probably the flow chart. Actually, let me put back those sewers here. They're on a mill to 5. I'm on a mill to 6. Okay, when I'm on the draw and they're mulliganing 1 lower than me, I do not mind getting Thoughtseize at all. Not too surprised to see them take the Overlord here. Very happy to draw this. They scour themselves. There's a frog in the yard, and then they play Urza's Saga. So this is like, I can't remember who was like championing this build. I think I gotta keep that. New spoiler, is this possible to use this with Lotus Field? Okay. When this enters, you may return another permanent you control to its owner's hand. When a land enters, this gets +1/+1 till end of turn. I guess I don't understand wanting to do this with Lotus Field. Could be missing something. Okay, got to keep that for the Ketramose. I think I'm just going to prioritize resolving the Ketramose. It doesn't seem very beatable with what's in my hand, even if they counter the frog. You can bounce your Lotus Field. Yeah, I don't know why that's interesting. Because, like, usually when you play these kind of white cards, you want to pair it with something that, like, the hurdle with Lotus Field is to stop your Lotus Field from killing your own land. So you want to play like a Consign to Memory or Blood Sun or the 2-mana 1/3 subs the trigger. Bouncing it to your hand doesn't seem like anything really. I mean, it's like not a bad card though. It's like pretty. It's a high power like Nurturing Pixie, and I have been thinking about like the Nurturing Pixie like synergies that exist in Modern. I've been trying to figure out, like, is there a Modern deck for this town ain't the big this town isn't the big enough for whatever that card's called. This town isn't the big enough for the 2 of us. Town ain't big enough for the 2 of us. So I've just been thinking about that some lately, and I haven't really found anything. I don't think we have Flash, bounce a land, any card yet. Might be the first. Yeah, I still don't think it's that interesting for Lotus Field specifically. It makes Lotus Field 5 mana with Amulet out. Makes Lotus Field 5 mana with Amulet out. Wait, I mean, you return it to your hand, but you've already played your land to play the Lotus Field, so how do you get the extra land drop? Alright, so there's 1 card in exile right now. Let's make that 4. I don't get to draw a card off this, and that's fine, of course. Isn't Essence Square better than that type of deck, or do you somehow play both? Well, I'm thinking that if you're playing this card, you care about attacking with creatures. I do think Essence Reliquary is a super unique effect, and like can be very powerful. Although it was, of course, way better when the One Ring was legal. Not exactly a card that I'm like very excited about since they banned the ring. Did I decide what you thought about the vehicle to a Snapcaster? Well, my thoughts haven't changed. My thoughts are that I need to look and see if there's any good vehicle to cheat into play. And Parhelion isn't it. I just need to look at them, and I haven't done that yet. But I'll have that done by the PowerPoint at least. I guess they're just an Asmo deck. Yeah, no worries. Do I have lethal? I think I do. So this goes... Yeah, it's very lethal. Oh, I forgot to tap the relic first, but shouldn't be a problem. Just, yeah. Plenty over. Okay, so we're up a game against Dimir, Asmo, Frog. I'm going to bring in the Wraths. I'm going to bring in the Sanctifiers also. It seems like we probably have enough inevitability without the combo, but the combo is also probably fine against them. But I think at the risk of them bringing in consigns, we'll just cut it. And then we could play Trespassers, we could play Chants, we could play like one consign. They're a Saga deck. Let's do this. Asmo in Modern is dead. No, it feels impossible for Asmo to give a good with Wrath and Meltdown exists. I mean, there was a time like last season when Monument to Endurance came out and Ketramose was really, really popular, and we were stomping like Boros, we were stomping Ketramose with our Monument Mako deck. So it's like, to some extent, there is a metagame evolution in Modern, and sometimes like there just aren't a lot of Wrath Disguise, or at least they're all in the sideboard, and you can play Asmo decks. But you have to have like a really good metagame read, I think. Oh yeah, we also have we have the Goryo's Asmo deck. That deck doesn't care as much about Wrath Disguise too, because you just get to Goryo's your Griselbrand if they like tap out for Wrath a lot of the time. So yeah, I wouldn't say dead, but I would absolutely say those are big concerns. I'm gonna keep this hand though. I'm definitely gonna keep this hand. So I pull my microphone off of its stand. Have you seen any card from Final Fantasy that are good for Modern? Yeah, there's about a dozen or so, I'd say, that are good for Modern already. I guess I want to save the ending for a Frog and be able to clean this up with a Wrath on turn 3, maybe. Yeah, I'll be making a video about it. I think it'll be a fun set. Yeah, I think Vivi is good. It's definitely a standard set. And it's also a standard set that's coming off of the heels of Dragonstorm, which was like the highest power level standard set in years. I think I'm going to wait a turn on the Wrath and play Ketramose this turn. Since War, but incomparable. There's like, between War and Dragonstorm, there's like 6 stronger standard sets. Like, the immediate, Theros was stronger, Ikora was stronger, the core set with Field of the Dead was stronger. Theros was stronger. Kaldheim was stronger. I don't think Strixhaven was stronger. I think there's one more big one in that era. But those were the dark times. Wasn't there an angle to cast Prismatic Ending on Frog to bait a counter like this turn? Yeah, you could do that. The thing is, like, my opponent has shown me Spell Snare, so I'm just kind of wondering, like, do they have Metallic Rebuke? Do they have Counterspell? Do they have Force of Negation in their deck? It just feels really likely that this is just going to work to me. They only have 3 cards in their hand. Maybe your line is safer, but I just... My heart is telling me this is going to work, so we'll see if you're right or if I'm right, I guess. Spec random question, does the Dice Factory deck pretty much just fold to Titan? It's bad. It's very bad against Titan. Typically, artifact-based combo decks are really bad against them because they just get to incidentally play so many, like Besagus and Force of Vigors. Sometimes, like a fast Karn can get the job done. Play draw matters a lot, but I would say that you're unfavored for sure. And now I've got my ending for the Oculus. If you used Asmo on Ketramose, would you gain life? Yes. That's actually a little bit of a line in the Goryo's Asmo deck we've been doing, where you can Gristlebrand. Asmo your own Gristlebrand, and you can gain 6 life if you need some more life to keep drawing cards. Yeah, if this is a second Oculus, it's kind of bad. We're not going to be dead because we're about to gain 4 life going up to 6, but we will be at 1 life. Although we have the very fun line of now Flickerwisping and then consigning the return. It was a second Oculus. As far as like if this is good or bad for me, this is bad if you're trying to learn at home. And then this Wrath of Skies I drew is good. Please subscribe. So I can give you all of the tips and tricks. Okay, I'm going to do something beautiful here. Let me know if you... Oh, no! Cheering. Thank you for listening to my plea for subscriptions. Thank you for 3 years. That's awesome. Okay, what I was going to do here was I was going to go Flickerwisp a land, Ephemerate Flickerwisp on another land, and then replicate Consign on both Flickerwisp triggers in my instep to double Stone Rain them. It's kind of a lot of work, but... All right. Bobo Baggins, amazing username. Thank you for the 9 months. After Pro Tour Barcelona, which was Pro Tour Lord of the Rings, they had a party down at the docks in Barcelona for the Pro Tour competitors, which was like an awesome thing that they did. And they saying it back, all this just sounds so fake, but as part of that party, they had Elijah Wood DJ a set. And then at some point, he had like a Bilbo Baggins remix, and I ascended. It was a crazy night. Saying all that out loud sounds so fake, though, but I swear it happened. I had like a lot of fans bought me shots. I was so drunk. Okay, well, I'm gonna go. I think Watery Grave, Solitude, the Voice, but what am I pitching? Probably the Ephemerate. No, it was real, I promise. It happened. They do get to stop the Ketramose draw by sacking the Voice, but I mean, I think I gotta take this line. Yeah, I think part of his song, he had they're taking the hobbits to Isengard, but again, I wasn't super aware by that point in the night. It was a great night though. We were playing Inverter the Fairway. Sometimes you do, yeah. Sometimes you just cast Inverter, enable Ketramose. I don't know if that's something we're doing this game. I'm kind of hoping I just draw Oracle instead, but it would be 1 card in exile short this game for whatever that's worth. All right, they've got 3 cards in their hand, drawing up to 4. They kept a card on top, a Guide of Souls, an Ocelot Pride. Okay, somehow we dodged the Ajani. I'm looking to draw like a Relic of Progenitus or a Frog here, or an Oracle. I didn't draw any of those. Oh, I have 1 card in my exile right now, so I could just cast Inverter here and hope. We don't have another line. We're going to have to hope our way out of this. So our deck is going to be 3 fetch lands, a Solitude, and a Prismatic Ending. Well, they let it resolve. That was nice of them. Yeah, I have Thoracle at hand. Concede. How are we winning from here? Well, I'm hoping that my 4/4 Menace Lifelinker and my 4 mana 6/6 Flyer will be good enough against my opponent's 2/1 drops. Not very clear that that's going to be the case, though. But we didn't really have a different line to take that turn, I think. All right, go to game 2. Here's the sideboard plan. So probably going Meticulous Archive. Okay, I can actually name most of the surveillance now. Archive into Swamp here, I think. Let's graveyard that, I guess. Maybe I do want to get a Godless Shrine so I could draw a Sanctifier. Managing your life total against Boros can be kind of a fun game to play. Let's try to keep him honest here. So we could go all in. The problem with going all in is I can't block the cat, and then they get a token. I mean, I could just fly the frog. I'm all in. Yeah, they're kind of low on stat. Oh, they didn't discharge. Okay, that's exciting. Although maybe it means they have another one. Okay, I wasn't expecting a chump block. That's fine with me. Wow, I was just thinking how good Ketramose would be. Wow. We're all in, baby! Although I guess not anymore. Good. Marsh Flats of the Yard. Algris, 15 months. Glad you like the stream. Doing my best over here. Yeah, isn't it nice to be the one that has it for Wansong? Another Ajani. Probably could just kill them here. Okay, I could definitely just kill them. One thing that's funny about the whole, if y'all remember, there was like a big conversation about Ketramose and Psychic Frog. Like, do you play a Dark Blast so that you can so that you could use the Dark Blast to infinite or make a huge Psychic Frog and kill your opponent in one shot. And one thing that I find very funny about that whole dialogue tree, that whole decision point, is that you just kind of don't need the Dark Blast to do this most of the time. Obviously, like, it makes it like a turn sooner, but this is still just pretty dang good by itself. Okay, that was a fun game. Let's go to game 3. On the draw this time. Am I crazy for thinking the Inverter combo makes this deck worse? Well, we've been running into basically all creature decks. We've won several games with the combo today. I beat Titan yesterday with the combo. I think the combo slots into the archetype very well. It might not be optimal, right? But, brewing on the brew stream is what we're doing. I mean, this hand's very good if I draw a land, and we're on the draw. We have a 30 lands, or sorry, 23 lands, with a possible Surveil. So right now the population size is 53. The sample size, let's say with no Surveil, is 2, with 22 hits. This is 66 without the Surveil, and then with the Surveil, that goes up to 80. We also have the Relic redraw, which I'm not going to add here, although we could play Relic turn 1 maybe instead of Surveiling. But for this hand, this is going to be a keep. Okay, the Graveyard of Pride. 23 plus. I was counting the DFCs. Genova, Ancient Disaster. She's an... Wait, is this the first alien in MTG? At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a number of counters equal to this creature's power onto up to one target other creature. This is probably not the actual wording. That creature becomes a mutant in addition to its other types. Okay. When a mutant you control dies during your turn, draw cards equal to your power. She's a mutant. This is a mistranslation. So what are we doing here? I think I like going for the Phelia Overlord. Probably should have done that faster, though. I wonder if her being a mutant will be relevant when the Marvel cards come out. So hopefully my Phelia survives long enough for me to also bounce this Blood Moon, but I can cast Overlord, get back Overlord, or Flicker Overlord, and I can cast Trespasser next turn too, so... I feel like this is our line. There's a Solitude, a Ketramose, and a Frog. We'll definitely take the Solitude. Fun game. There might be a Wolverine card in Spider-Man. Yeah, maybe. Or, yeah. Spider-Man is a standard set that's coming out before the Marvel set. Is that right? Marvel cards, Jesus Christ. Wait till my 10-part series talking about my thoughts on Universe Beyond cards. Number 5 may shock you. If they have a discharge, it's kind of game over, but... I think I just pop this. Well, no, I think I just want the Trespasser actually to be pressure. No! Ugh. Alright, Graveyard Trespasser. I guess I didn't need to play the land. If I drew my island, then we kind of want that to be alive. Or these to discard, rather. Island! When are we getting the Jesus Christ cards? I can't comment on those. I don't know why the camera keeps sliding out. It's just a new thing I have to do, I guess. All right, a redraw at the island. Okay, impending this is kind of risky, but okay, I've milled over the plains. So I could not cast any white cards, but this could maybe come down at some point. I think it was worth impending, and we've dug deeper for the island. No attacks. Scared of Bowmaster? I don't know. It was weird. This Overlord's gonna come down. What am I doing? I don't know. Okay, good news, I guess. I didn't mill the island, and we're 4 cards deeper. Also, this turns back into a creature, or into a creature for the first time. Although, I'm just going to kill myself by attacking with this. Is island the only out? Yeah. Dead, right? They just, yeah, I'm dead. Alright, 3-2 both leagues. I mean, that is a good result still, I think. We won a lot of games with the combo. I do think the combo kind of slides somewhat seamlessly in here, where like when you play Inverter, you want to be playing Relic Frog. These go well. You can pivot off of it if it's bad. We didn't play against a lot of like big mana or combo decks. I think it is possible that you could build a deck as just Dimir with Psychic Frog. I think you could maybe also play Eldrazi Temple and K Command and then Temple cast this, but that may be a different build. You'd have been one. Yeah, I mean, we still don't have outs after that, though. Okay, so backup deck time. Now, I believe that this idea came from a chatter.